All right. Hello, Jenny. How are you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So my name is Elizabeth. I am a senior therapist at the clinic that we'll be working at. From my understanding that you're being hired on as an instructional therapist?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So today we're here to talk about a training plan that we're implementing for one of your clients that you'll be working with.
Okay.
So we just wanted to do a session on the side, just away from the clinic, just so we have time to actually discuss and go over things without any interruptions and just in a more place where you feel more comfortable casually talking about it. So I'll start off with the client that you'll be working with is a 6-year-old boy. Diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder. He does have words and right now is doing very well with one-word manding. He's been doing it for a few years according to his parents, and in the session that we work with him, he manded very well using one words. So what we're implementing next will be the 2-word manding. We'll be teaching it to him in a play environment or the natural environment, which is NET. Just because it's a little bit difficult to sit at a table and force someone to say words, so we find that when teaching in that setting, he'll be hopefully more motivated around the toys that he's playing with or with his peers. It'll be easier for us to get those words out of him.
So he'll be in the same kind of age group.
Yeah, most of the kids in the clinic are around the same age group. Some of them do vary, but there are kids, at least 1 or 2, that are around the same age group as him.
Okay.
So one of the things that we'd like you to start with is leaving the room particularly. He knows that will be what he's doing, like once he's worked through his token board or his session at the table with you. The reinforcement will be to leave the room, go play with toys, and we always want you to get him to mand, either leave room, let's go, play outside. You always have to vary the demands that you're requesting from him because we want to be able to get him to generalize it across multiple situations and multiple people. And if we're using variable of words, it'll increase his words and his vocabulary.
Okay.
So what you'll be given will be clickers.
Okay.
They're just like little counter clickers. You click the silver button and it counts how many mans that he has per session. Those are super important. You need to take data on those every day that you're with him. They're connected to a mini little carabinder that you can hook onto any piece of clothing because we find that it's easier to have it on your body at some point rather than carrying it.
Okay.
If you're chasing him around or doing other work, holding it in your hand is not really beneficial.
So if he's playing, then if, let's say, for example, he has that 2 words mandate, then you have to literally click it?
Yes.
Or?
You do have to click it. It's very important.
So you have to be aware of.
You do.
Okay.
But while he's playing, that's your goal, to
Okay.
get those mans out of him.
All right.
So if he's playing with blocks and he requests blocks from you, make sure that you have those blocks on your body.
Okay.
So he knows that you're the one to go to. And start off with the full prompt because he hasn't been doing 2 mans at all. Or 2-word mans at all. So you're going to fully verbally prompt everything.
Okay.
So if you have the blocks and he wants more blocks, you say more blocks, he'll repeat more blocks.
Okay.
If you want to get technical, you can start saying red block, green block, blue block, and all that stuff, and it'll continue.
Okay.
At some points, he will have spontaneous mans where he requests things without you. Those are really good. Those are really, really great because we want him to do those.
Yeah.
So you would just click that as well onto the spontaneous one. So you'll have 2 of the clickers. They'll be different colors. It'll be easy for you to keep track. Once you get more used to it, obviously it's a little bit overwhelming like once you start, but once you get into the hang of it, it's super easy.
Okay.
But as long as you are keeping track of that and fully verbally prompting whatever you can do, it's going to be very beneficial. So obviously we are a clinic that does ABA and IBI therapy for kids with autism. Every kid has a different program and a different plan developed by the senior therapists, which is implemented by the instructional therapists that are on a client's team.
Okay.
That varies just when what availability you have and what times that the client can come into the clinic. So you may have clients more often than others do, but it really just depends. So for this specific client, we're going to be working on the 2-man in the play or the natural environment. So that's super important for that. So for spontaneous mans, he may man 3-word mans, where he would say, I want ball. We're still going to count it as a prompted man if you say want ball and he says I want ball, just because those 2 words were the words that were prompted. Even though he did add that one, the extra one, it's not in our targets right now. So we're going to focus on the 2-word prompted mans. And then once you're finished your session with him, depending on how many hours he's with you, you'll take the full total number of the mans that you calculated, divided by the number of hours he's here, and then we'll graph that onto the chart. So I'll just give you a demonstration. Say, for example, he was with you for 3 hours, and he had 53 prompted mans. So 53 divided by 3, he had 17 prompted mans. So this is what our graphs look like. It's a cumulative graph. You would put the client name, the program. So this program is 2-word manding. And then the graph just goes from 1 to 30. And you would put the date and the IT's name. That would be your initials. So at the bottom, we would do a circle for prompted. As the legend, an X for spontaneous, and then the date, for example, for today would be July 24th, so the 24th, 07/19, and your initials are JH. Fabulous. So for the first hour, you got 53 prompted mans, or for the first session, you got 53 prompted mans in a total of 3 hours. That's actually really great. So you got over the limit that we are doing right now. His target currently is 10 prompted mans. So you would graph the 17 at 17. It was a prompted man, so you would draw the circle. And then for the spontaneous, say you didn't get as many, say, 25 divided by 3, and you got 8. So you would mark the X on the line for 8. And if there was any other data graphed by another IT, you would use your ruler. Always use a ruler and connect the data points together.
So you connect the circles and then separate with the X?
Separate with the X, yeah. So then that would just stay in his binder under that program specifically. And then on the dial of the clicker, there's a black dial on the right side. You would just turn it all the way clockwise until the number read 0000. And you do that for both. And then you would keep it on the side connected to his binder or in the client's bin to restart for the next session. Yeah.
All right.
Alrighty. Do you have any questions as of right now?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, perfect. So this was our training session for today. You will have the opportunity, someone will get in touch with you. You'll have the chance to take a look at someone else doing some 2-manded graphing in the clinic setting in the large play room that we share. But other than that, I had a great session with you. And I think you're definitely ready to do the 2-manded session with him.
Thank you.
No problem.
All right.